Round 1.
Hello, welcome to Throwdown. I'm Aurelio Martinez, Stephen Johnson.
Inside Boxing's Throwdown.
I'm telling you what.
That's right.
Well, I didn't put the inside boxing because today, in our next episode, we're going to talk about the NFL. We're going to break open the new segments of the NFL football.
Okay.
So that's going to be a treat for you guys because we're going to break that down. But anyhow, for now, we're going to talk about, Steve, we're going to talk about this weekend's fights.
Yeah.
We had some pretty good ones. We had Triple G, of course, everyone saw that. We had Chocolatito. And then Friday on Premiere, we had some excellent bouts.
Yeah.
So,
like you said, a great weekend of fight. But for you folks that didn't get a chance to see on Spike TV Friday night, they had a great fight for the vacant IBF World Lightweight title between Robert Easter Jr. and Richard Comey from Ghana. And I'm telling you, Aurelio, and for you fans that didn't get to see it, well, that was a great fight.
I'll tell you what.
I have not. I've known of Robert Easter from the amateurs, and I was never really that impressed with him. But I'll tell you what, they have brought him along slowly and nicely, and now he's somebody that has to be dealt with in the lightweight division. And as you and I talked about it during the fight, he's tall, you know, and that's going to always make him a factor. But man, this Richard Comey was 24-0 with 22 KOs.
I know.
You know, and Robert Easter Jr. was 17-0 with 14 KOs, and they both knocked each other down. Both went down during the fight. And it was a great fight, you know, and Easter got the split decision win.
Well, you know, like Easter, we'll talk about that because we won't get into our highlighted events. But yeah, you're right. Easter, he's very tall for a 135-pounder.
Yes.
He boxes at the lightweight division.
Yep.
And what'd you say, 6 foot, 6'1", whatever. But he's extremely tall, and that's kind of been his all through the amateurs, his little forte. He's been tall. He's been fighting all the small guys at 135, 132 in the amateurs. So basically, you're right. It was a good fight. They both came to fight. They both came with their power shots.
I'm going to take it a step further. This was a great fight. This is a guy, Comey from Ghana, you know, that was, hey man, legitimate knockout artist. Legitimate.
Yeah.
Easter took some of his bombs. And Easter delivered some bombs to him, and I mean, it was a great fight. If you get a chance on YouTube, go check it out.
That's right.
Now let's move to Saturday. I'm
telling you. You want to talk about the Triple G fight, or you want to talk about Chocolatito?
Let's talk about Triple G since it's first up.
Okay.
You know,
well, the whole story behind Triple G, everyone out there talked about. You know, he was fighting a little guy, Cal Brooks, and but Cal Brooks. Actually was the bigger guy weight-wise, you know. Weight-wise, but we know experience-wise, you know, he fought down at the welterweight division, and he went up 2 divisions to 160 pounds. And Steve, all I can say is he found out what it is
to fight a legitimate
middleweight.
And you know what? I want to give Kell Brook credit. Okay, I know a lot of people knocked it on paper. I was the one who said on paper Kell Brook didn't have a chance, and he didn't have a chance. But I have to give him credit because he took a fight that nobody else would take. Okay, and then, to be honest, at welterweight, there's nobody that had the name Kell Brook in their mouth.
No.
Part of that was because of we talked about on our shows before. Kell Brook wanted everybody to come over to England.
Exactly.
And nobody really wanted to. So he stepped out of his comfort zone, you know, and it came on. I should say out of his comfort zone. He fought in front of hometown, you know, fans. But the bottom line was that Kell Brook got stopped in the 5th round. There was questions. People were questioning. We talked about it during the fight. He was obviously hurt. You know, he had told his corner, he said, I'm seeing 3 of him. That was something that everybody could hear on camera. He said, I'm seeing 3 of them, talking about Triple G. The fight was stopped. His corner stopped it. He didn't like it at first. He had surgery today on that broken orbital bone in his right eye. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure that when he gets finished, probably about a week or so from now, he'll say, you know what? Thank you guys for stopping it. You know.
Well, I think I read somewhere where he actually said it was a good stoppage.
Okay.
You know, and the thing about it is we talked about that. Now we can talk about this because this is actually what there is to talk about. The actual fight was what everyone expected. Triple G was too strong,
too big.
He was too big. He was too strong, and he didn't just fight a middleweight that's a good legitimate middleweight. He fought the hardest hitting middleweight on the planet right now. Yeah. So I mean. You know, and naturally he got hit with that hook, and it broke that orbital bone, and it was. But like you say, give him credit. He tried to stick it out, but as people who never been in the ring, you know, you can't see, you're in
can't
pain,
fight.
you got a broken bone. You imagine what would happen if he got hit 2 or 3 more times on that socket. It would have been shattered.
That's right.
It would have been shattered.
And then, you know, jaw, all of that comes into play.
Yeah.
So that, you know.
So it was a good stoppage.
Well, the reason I say it was I give him credit is because he stepped up and took the fight. But more important, he was looking for a payday, and so he finally got one. Amir Khan has been ducking him for the last 5 years. That fight's not going to happen. So who else was there for him? I mean, I don't take it from him. Triple G, a lot of people, you know, the haters, Coach Bashir Abdullah, still the haters are still cracking on him, you know, that they don't like the competition. Well, the competition isn't there for him.
But because he don't want to be. There's plenty of that could step up and fight.
They won't. That's right.
But that's what I'm saying. So the competition, let's not say it's not there. It's there.
Okay.
But
they won't step up.
But they won't step. They won't step up to fight. So basically, let's talk about what's next. Okay. I think it was the WBA that mandated negotiations start with Triple G and
Billy Joe Saunders.
And Billy Joe Saunders. So we got that possibility.
Yeah.
And then we had people talking about Jacobs.
Danny Jacobs.
They're talking about Danny Jacobs as a possibility. And then you have this other knucklehead in England said that you want to fight a real middleweight.
Chris Eubanks Jr., man. He's a joke. You know what?
That is a joke.
Let me tell you what. You've done it before on this show. You said, we ain't talking about him.
Okay.
I don't want to talk about Chris Eubanks Jr. because he is a joke. Let's talk about Billy Joe Saunders. He said he wants some, but he said after this fight he has coming up, he wants to see, you know, what happens then. But he said he'll take on. He actually said he's coming to look for Triple G.
Yeah, so I'm
looking for Triple G.
I'm thinking we'll probably see a Jacobs fight. I don't know, but whoever it is, they need to be prepared and they need to be ready for what they got coming.
Okay, we got 3 minutes left, and we're going to devote all of this to the Chocolatito versus Carlos Cuerdas fight. You know, it was for the light fight. I think it was the WBC. WBC World Super Flyweight title.
Chocolatito came up a division to fight and challenge
Cuadras
for the and I didn't realize that Cuadras was the champion. I really didn't. I'm a big fan of Chocolatito. Okay, I'm a big fan of his. So naturally, it didn't matter who he was going to fight. I was going to watch it, man. I just like this kid. But I'll tell you what, he had his hands full. You know
what, Radio? We talked about the fight through the fight, every round. We watched every round and talked about the fight through the fight. There is a strong contingent around the country and maybe around the world.
Yeah,
feels that Cuadras, you know, should have kept his title because of that fight.
Well,
I'll tell you what. Let me just say, and I'll let you take it from there. If you look at photos of Cuadras and you look at photo of Chocolatito, if you just look at the photo, you're gonna say there's no way Cuadras lost that fight.
Now I'm gonna give you my take on this. Okay, my take on this is I agree with you. Okay,
no, don't agree with me. I'm just saying that's.
Well, no, I'm agreeing with you to the point where the champion's a champion, and he fought well. I mean, Cuadras fought well to win. Okay, but my whole problem is he didn't throw enough punches. Okay, now you can bang up someone's face with just a few punches. Okay, and plus Cuadras had the movement. So naturally, a grazing punch will do more damage because it stretches the skin and it starts to put them little mouses than a solid punch. Okay, solid punch will knock you out. But anyhow, I was to the point that Cuadras was winning the fight until we got deeper into the fight, and you can see that Chocolatito was just throwing so many more punches. They weren't as technical. They weren't as clean like you might want to say a boxer is, but he threw more punches, and when you take that into consideration, he had to have scored more. Now I disagree with Letterman. They talked to him. Letterman's watching it on TV, and he was giving every round to Chocolatito because obviously he's not a fan of movers. He said it. He said it right there on TV. Cuadras is moving and he's moving and he wanted him standing. He wanted him standing fight. Why you want to stand and fight with someone that's a solid puncher? You fight your fight. I've always said this. You make your opponent fight your fight to win the fight.
That's the best way to change it. You make him fight.
So basically, I think it was a good fight. I wouldn't have complained either way it went. But all things considering, I think Chocolatito probably won that fight. But
I would say he probably won the fight. I think once again he's coming up in weight, and it showed me that that kid with the WBO title from Japan, I don't think he wants him. I don't
No,
think
no.
he
He
should
was
mess
there
with him.
watching, wasn't he?
And he was like,
Yeah.
I'll go ahead.
He was there
I don't
watching.
think he wants him. I think he should stay away from him. But we'll see what happens. Okay.
I'll tell you what. Well, good, man. I'll tell you what. It's
All right.
good. It's good to recap this weekend. Sometimes, Steve, we struggle through the weekend because we have nothing but bum fights on
Great,
TV.
This was a good weekend of
But
fights.
this was a good weekend of fights, and hopefully it's going to continue that way. So
I hope so.
Good. So listen, you guys come back to our next episode. I said we got a couple of them going. We're going to talk about our new NFL episode. We're going to talk football, and everyone knows the current events with the football. But it was an exciting weekend of NFL, and if you ever want to start a season, you want to start it the way it started this week.
There you go.
So, Steve, until we come back, keep them hands up.
Keep them up, baby.